What's up, everybody? Another day, another hassle, another hustle in my hassle. Welcome to Trucking and Common Sense. It's your guy Batman, sitting here at my dispatch office desk with some thoughts that came to my mind. Right. So today, first of all, look at these parts right here, man. When you're talking about these rates, these little parts right here, two little boxes. And you want to say, well, what are those? What's in those boxes, man? This is a clamp that goes around my turbo. Oh, one of the lines are coming back from the turbo. I see. This other box right here. Yep, this right here. And so these little two parts right, there's two boxes right here, and here's the ticket right here. And these things right here, some more little gaskets, some little nuts, some little bolts, right? Yeah. So anyway, little bolts, little nuts and washers right here, a little gasket for the turbo right here, boom boom. Some more gaskets, right? So anyway, you see the little items right here. So those of you who is not in trucking every day, but you want to stick your toes in it, and this is my bill right here. Freightliner would have been costing a lot more. So since my truck is a Freightliner, and some parts you can go to aftermarket parts or whatever, it's supposed to be a lot cheaper than the dealer. This right here I went to W.W. Williams. And you can see the different little O-rings and all that kind of stuff right here. All the different parts. Just a few of those little parts, right? So those of you who right here in Atlanta. And anyway, the frustrating part is the few parts that I just showed you right here. How many little items? A little metal seal, exhaust gasket manifold, flange manifold. These are all the parts that put my turbo back on that's needed. Now, not to say we might not need some more high temperature bolts or whatever. Mountain studs for the turbo and all that. Anyway, long story short, see the ticket on here? All right, you see the ticket price? The cost, $351. Now, you person that just bought you a truck and you talk about, oh man, I'm gonna get me a truck because I'm gonna make money in trucking, and these truck drivers who have no other accolades that let you wanna have this perception of big trucks make big money. So when you say, oh man, you're a truck driver, you must make big money, and as opposed to them not knowing what money is or whatever, they wanna lie and brag to you about it, and they want you to think that they're the man. And I drive big trucks and all that, man, and I drive big trucks, and so they want you to think that they're making big money. I'm gonna keep it real with you. You know what I'm saying? They don't see these little gaskets right here. Man, I gotta make sure I don't lose any of that stuff. But so the public perception is you drive big trucks, or you're a truck driver, you're making money. That's far from the truth, especially in the state of what trucking is today, right? That's very far from the truth. So look, there's one little bag right here. My two little parts that's inside here. Boom. $351. So I guess nobody shows you this part where I stand right, sit right here and scratch my head like, damn. But how do you combat that? Oh, we'll run some loads, right? But loads ain't paying. And a lot of us don't realize that you're the driver. I mean, like, you just drive. You're the truck owner and the dispatcher. We pretty much dictate what the rates on this freight is. I don't think y'all ever realize that. We dictate what the rate on these loads are. And you might say, well, wait a minute. How do you dictate it when brokers is the one that's paying us, right? Well, how we dictate it is we don't take it. If I don't take it and you don't take it, guess what? The price have to come up. But I don't think a lot of us realize that we have that power in our hands. And the state of trucking, it's the rates. That's, again, man, common sense, man. The other day, I saw this young lady on here on YouTube, and she was so excited that she got a load. Apparently, she just got a truck, and there's nothing wrong with that. And she's like, man, I got this load, and I'm doing good because I'm making $2 a mile. And I'm like, who taught this young lady this $2 a mile means anything? So evidently somebody had to tell her that $2 a mile is a measuring stick. So let's say, get your calculator out, get your phones out, and let's do a simple math problem, guys. Oh, let's do a simple math problem. Hold on a second. It's my dispatch phone ringing. Hold on a second. Hello, dispatch. No, I don't have anybody up there. I didn't want to interrupt your conversation, man. But from Dayton, Tennessee to Dunn, North Carolina, no, I don't have anybody up there. All right. Thank you. Okay, bye. Yeah. So now, brokers calling. They're just making cold calls. They have loads or whatever. But again, if I don't move that load and you don't move the load, now what? Right? So again, we have to understand that we have the power in our hands, but we're so used to being dictated to by these brokers that I don't think a lot of us realize that we have the power of the rates that we're being paid in our hands. Now you want to say, well, what should your rate be or whatever, right? Okay, let's go back to, get your calculator out. Let's go to this nonsense that everybody talks about. $2 a mile. Get your calculator out, your phone, your computer right here. $2 a mile. Let's do a simple math equation, right? $2 per mile. And see how this $2 a mile plays out. Now we can go into a whole breakdown. Of course, my expense ain't gonna match yours, but look at the operating costs, right? $2 a mile. Well, how does $2 a mile multiply? I think some of y'all just take these loads and don't even do the simple math, because if you do the simple math of what $2 a mile will do, you will see how stupid it is. From here, from Atlanta to Birmingham, Alabama, I think Google says it's 175 miles, right? 175 miles, maybe 174 miles. Yeah, it's right there. It's 175. So 17 and 17 is 34, 50 carries, boom. You're looking at 340 miles, right? 340 miles. I mean, well, this is a round trip. Let's just go back to the one way. So 175 miles, multiply that by $2 per mile. I think you guys repeat that nonsense, but if you really do the math, 175 multiply, brokers be blowing me up, multiply by 2.00. That's what $2 a mile is. 175 miles, right? multiply that by $2. Are you going to tell me the answer is $3.50? Are you going to tell me that you're going to take a load, that this shit makes sense to you? That you're going to take a load from Atlanta to Birmingham for $350? Now let's think about it, right? If brokers are telling you that $2 a mile makes sense and you co-signing that bullshit, why I get loads going to Birmingham for $600? Or going from Atlanta to Greenville, 175 miles, wherever you are. You in Raleigh, you in Charlotte, you in Chicago, you on the east side, wherever, you in Florida, you in Louisiana, you in Texas. Where does that, whatever city you're in, just gauge another city that you probably run to, 175 miles, multiplied by $2 per mile. See how stupid that shit is. You're going to tell me I'm supposed to take a load from Atlanta to Birmingham, and if $2 a mile is the measuring stick, or if it's a math equation that you guys are doing, that shit's supposed to make sense for $350? Now let's just do the simple shit. So it's $350, all right? Put that on your notepad. So at 175 miles, let's just do the fuel costs, okay? At 175 miles, and the average trucks out here get 6 miles to a gallon, what do y'all do? Remember, your calculator is supposed to be your best friend, man. This is some elementary shit. Well, I don't even know why I'm doing it, but I'm just having food for thought conversation that I don't think, there's no way. This is like the other day I went to this rally, right? Now, who I vote for, whatever, it's confidential, whatever. But I'm saying I voted for Bush a couple times. Because, again, some of my views, Republican views, whatever, might make sense. But I went to a rally the other day, political rally. And, of course, me and my man Wes supposed to have a conversation about that. That's another topic. I mean, that's what we're going to have, is a topic about that. So I went to a political rally, and, of course, there were some MAGA people there. And the guy that was talking, there were two older ladies that were arguing with him. But I stood to the side and I'm listening for a second because I was about to get hot. Because again, I saw two ladies, two sister ladies, and in distress. I naturally walk up thinking like, yo, I know this guy's not causing frustration to my sisters over here. Let me see what I need to do. So before I jump right in, I walk right up and I eavesdrop the conversation. And this guy literally was retarded. What you're not supposed to say retarded? What you're supposed to say if someone is slow upstairs? I think the new word is autistic. Anyway, I'm old school. I call a faggot. You're retarded. You're this, you're that. I'm old school. I'm not none of that. Whatever. Don't hope to it. If you don't like it, guess what? You don't like it. Anyway, so I'm saying this guy had to be retarded. So this is pretty much the conversation that I was hearing, and I jumped in a little bit, and I said one or two, but then I realized I'm talking to a dumbass. So why I need to continue this conversation? Anyway, going back to this, your calculator, your best friend. Your calculator is supposed to be your best friend, people. These numbers right here. Your calculator, whether you're going 400 miles, all right, whether you're going 200 miles, do the math at $2 a mile and see how that makes sense. See how you're supposed to be able to afford this ticket right here when your parts is $350 something, right? When fuel, right? Insurance and all that. So let's go back to 175 miles. And those of you who want to be all super technical, guess what? The difference between 6 and 7, or the difference between 5 and 6 is only 1. So whether you say, oh, my truck gets 7 miles to the gallon, and I say the average trucks get 6 miles to a gallon, And oh man, my truck's got 5 or just yeah. It all depends on the heavy ass load that you are pulling. You know, some of y'all might get 3 miles to a gallon. But anyway, let's just say it's flat land, a light load, or whatever. Your truck is not putting on extra stress or whatever. So at 175 miles, you divide that by 6. You get 29.1, right? You take 29.1, which is 29 gallons. That's how much gallons that your truck is going to take to get from Atlanta to Birmingham at 175 miles. 175 miles. And you multiply that 29.1, and you do it, let's just say 29, just round it off. 29.1 is 29. Again, this is some 4th grade math. 4th grade math, man. So this is going to take 29 gallons. The price of fuel out here right now is $4 a gallon. Boom. $4 a gallon, people. It's going to take you 29 gallons to get to Birmingham on that load that paying us $3.50, right? Let's say $3.50. It pays, oh man, my broker says I'm getting $2 a mile. So let's just see how much shit this don't make sense. So 29 gallons, multiply that by $4 a gallon. At 29 gallons, at $4 a gallon, okay, even if you want to be, all right, so the price of fuel dropped last week. What happened to last month and what happened to last week or whatever when the price was $4? This week it dropped, because, the governor in Georgia took away the sales tax or the fuel tax or whatever, so they dropped the fuel price down. Well, it's going to go right back up. So dropping it or taking it off for about a month or so everybody could save a little money around Thanksgiving and buy fuel. But the overall operating cost, cost of your fuel, that's $116. 29 gallons times $4 is $116. So you take that $116, that's just your fuel. That's how much it's going to cost you to get to Birmingham. Your fuel. Now you got paid $3.50 on it, right? So you minus $3.50. So once you pay for your fuel, at $350 and you pay $116 in fuel, because again, this is just one way, you need 29 gallons to go there. Come up to $116, you subtract $116 from $350, because remember now, you all proud about getting $2 a mile. You so proud, man, you want to brag to your boy, man, I'm $2 a mile. So at $2 a mile and the cost of your fuel leaves you with a balance of $234. That's just your fuel. What about you sitting there with that load that we talked about, your time? What about you sitting there for 4 hours to get loaded? What about the 3 hours that it's going to take to get to Birmingham? Right? Because it's 175 miles. It's 175 miles. And so it's going to take you about 2.5 hours to get to Birmingham. I say 3, rounded up, right? So you just spent 4 hours at someplace in Atlanta to pick up a load. You got to spend 2.5 hours. There again, you might hit a little traffic. No, nothing runs free. Nothing runs smooth. So let's just say 3 hours to get to Birmingham. So you got 4 hours over here, 3 hours of travel. And when you get to Birmingham now, there's about 4 or 5 trucks ahead of you. So now that's going to have you spending another 4 hours over there to get offloaded, right? So you got 4, 3 in the middle, and another 4, right, to get offloaded. Let's just hope it don't take that long, right? So 4 and 4 is 8, plus 3 is 11. Boom, that's your whole driving day right there. That's just the time part. I think I did an episode one time, and I talked about your time, right? So that's 11 hours. So of course now you want to make sure that your loadout time is minimal to 2-3 hours. But anyway, you back down to $234, and you let somebody convince you that doing a load from Atlanta to Birmingham, or doing a load from Raleigh to Charlotte, doing a load from Spartanburg to Greensboro, wherever, it's doing a load from New Orleans to Lake Charles or to Beaumont, doing a load from Dallas, doing a load from Houston, whatever circle 175 miles get you, and you're gonna think you're doing something for $2 a mile. This is just the on the surface cost. Now we just spoke about how you just spent 11 hours with that load, right? So you spent $116 on fuel, minus from the $350, right? And now you got $234 left. So if you was to only do that load that day, just that one load, at $234, which is dumb as hell, because why would you spend 11 hours in your truck and only accomplish one load that day? But again, because it takes so much time to load, so much time to offload, so much time to travel in between, you end up with 11 hours, right? So at $234 left, you divide, and that's the only load that you did for the day. Oh, wait a minute, if you end up in Birmingham, because hey, that's another thing, that mirrors that with a straight through load. So what if someone gives you a $2 a mile and tells you straight through? Go from Atlanta to Birmingham. Now you're in Birmingham after you're gonna spend 4 hours over here, 3 hours in between to travel, and 3 hours to offload. That whole day now you're in Birmingham. Now you gotta come back home, or you gotta spend the night right there, because your hours of service, you just did 11 hours, so now you don't have no more drive time. So you don't have no more drive time. If you have a sleeper, you gotta go sleep in your bunk, all right? So you're sleeping there for another 10 hours or whatever. And guess what? You're in the Bible Belt. For you to spend that much time during the daytime, there's no loads that's going to pick up in the evening time. That's why straight through loads does not make sense. Truck owners and dispatchers and stuff do not. I mean, we have to be on the same thought process here. And I'm just telling you how I think. Okay? So we don't pay attention to our time, right? Time is wasted. We spend a lot of time, whether it's getting loaded, in traffic, or getting offloaded. Okay, let's go back to the 11 hours. So you just got $234 left. $234, and you spent 11 hours with that load. 11 hours with that load, that means you just made $21 an hour. Your calculator got to be your best friend, man. But you didn't pay your truck. At $21 an hour, you didn't pay your truck, you didn't pay yourself, and if you had a driver in it, that barely, I don't think you made enough to pay your driver for 11 hours. I don't know what you're paying your driver, but it's all about the numbers, man. Your calculator, this right here needs to be your best friend. Not Lisa, not Mary, not Susie, not Fred, not John. When they call, you got to be doing your numbers right here. Not Pookie, not Ray Ray. Those people don't need to be your best friend. This device need to be your best friend. Your calculator, man. You got to calculate everything. In the words of my favorite rapper, and some of you, ninjas lie, women do too. Women lie, ninjas lie. But what it say? Numbers don't. Numbers, your numbers. It don't matter how you spin it. Your number is going to come out to be the same way. These people are using use a play on words and numbers to make numbers come out to be whatever sentence they want to calculate it. So how could $2 a mile make sense? It doesn't make sense. Who told you all that? Who was the dummy that came out with that when diesel was 50 cents a gallon, and they just kept on repeating it? They kept on repeating it. If you're in Indiana, if you're in Tennessee, you're in Nashville, wherever 175 miles take you, multiply that by $2 and see if that's, look at all the time we wasted. And when your truck breaks down, man, how are we gonna be able to afford to fix it when it breaks down? And it's gonna break down. How are you going to be able to fix it, man? When you get stopped and you got a marker light out, you got a headlight out. How these things make sense in trucking? Yeah, that's stupid to me. That's real dumb. But again, man, it's like we have to change our thought process. We have the power, right? I don't loads from Atlanta to Birmingham. Yeah, but I'm using Birmingham as just a quick reference, right? At 175 miles, I don't take nothing less than 600, and that's what you're right. So you're getting 600 to go there, right? But if you go by $2 a mile, then you'll be happy with 350. If it's 175 miles and you thinking that $2 a mile makes sense to you, how does this shit make sense? Where's the common sense to that? And you people that bought a truck and you have your cousin Pookie or cousin Ray driving it because he's been driving for 30 years, he's not worried about that. He's just making sure that you pay him what you told him you're gonna pay him at the end of the month, end of the week. So how is that mathing? The math is not mathing, you know. How is that mathing, man? This is my rant for the day, man. It's not making sense. I just spent $350 fucking right here on buying some washers and all that. Not to mention the turbo I bought yesterday. Not to mention the labor that I gotta pay to put it on. The diesel mechanic labor. And people are still talking about $2 a mile. Where I'm from, that's a come on, son. That's what we say, come on, son. Some people say, come on, my nigga. That's a come on, nigga. That's a come on, son. It doesn't make sense, man. There's some dumbass rhetoric that people keep on reiterating, like we're kicking the can farther and farther down the road and no one is standing up and saying it. And that's the problem, man. Some of y'all that's watching my videos, if you share the similar views, say something about it, bro. I see some of y'all liking the videos, but I'm not hearing the comments, right? Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe so we could get more. Like I said, tell 10 people, 10 of your friends. Yes, 5 and 5 is 10. Some of y'all don't want to realize. Yeah, something I say, tell 10 of your friends. I'm being a little funny. Tell 10 of your friends to tell 10 of their friends. Okay? Because this is some stupid shit. How could that make sense? $2 a mile, 175 miles, paid $350, and now you can't afford to fix your truck. But Mr. Gilmore on the line told you that, hey man, this load is paying $2 a mile. So you say, yes sir, boss. I was going to get my truck right now, boss, and I was going to go pick the loads up for you, boss. Yeah, I know. My impression of the shuck and jive impersonation might not be all the best, but it's my attempt at being a little humorous. You know what I mean? I don't want to be talking from no pedestal or from no platform. Not no pedestal. Podium, that's the word I wanted to use. I'm not talking from no podium, bro. I'm just trying to bring some common sense to our thought process. Again, I don't want to be the only one thinking this way, but I would like other people to think right along with me. And look, damn, my video is 28 minutes right now, man. I'm hot, son. Not because I got this hoodie on, because it's cold outside. I'm hot. Because it's dumb as hell, man, to think that you have enough sense to go get a truck and ambition enough to start your own truck, wanna get loads out here. So you smart enough to do all of that, or someone is telling you what to do, but I give you a compliment, or you're a truck owner, you got 1 truck, 2 truck, 3, 4, 5, and your dispatchers are booking these loads and stuff, and again, man, we letting someone on the phone tell us that $2 a mile supposed to fit and supposed to take care of your expenses. $2 a mile is suffice to pay your truck note, fix your truck when it's broken, and pay your bills. How does $2 a mile make sense? If you don't know the unit of measure of 1. If it don't work for 1, how the fuck is it gonna work for 12? How is it gonna work for 2 or 3 or 4, whatever your ambition is? How is it gonna work for that? Because what, $2 a mile? Like I said, that is the dumbest rhetoric I've ever heard. The other day I told a broker, he called me, oh, well, it's only 10 miles down the road. And I said, look, I don't give a damn if it's right next door. Anything within a radius of 100 miles, a load where it's picking up or delivering to, this is my rate. This is what I get. And I see people on the load board, oh, 275, 350. My truck does not crank up for nothing less than 400. And of course, again, it has to be within a radius of 100 miles, even though I run my truck in a 200-mile radius, 250 at the most, you know what I mean? But again, you got to look at the time. But again, man, just going back to this bullshit, we talking about this $2 a mile that's supposed to be. And sister girl, I just looked at it. I looked at a video just like someone's looking at mine right now. And I'm saying, damn, man, there's no way. Why is other people not stepping up, speaking up to let's change this rhetoric, change the thought process. This $2 a mile bullshit, dry van freight. Again, the other day I said there was a rate confirmation that I had 10 years ago. No, it was 2010. We in 2020. Yeah, we almost in 2025. So that's 15 years. There was a broker that paid me. I had a rate confirmation. I went from Atlanta to Chattanooga. They paid me $500. Right? $500 to go from Atlanta to Chattanooga. The rate on my rate confirmation said $500 down. Why is 15 years later, I can show you a rate confirmation right now that the rates have not changed. I might get lucky and get 6 if I'm lucky, right? But the reason why I have to say if I might get lucky, because other people are out there, the brokers are thinking that they got so much options that if I don't haul it, you're going to haul it. Well, I don't want you to haul it. And be rest assured, if you're not hauling it, then I'm not hauling it. But we also have to know what the basis of our platform is. Dry van freight should be at least the bottom number for dry van freight, $4.25 a mile. That's way more than fair. That's way more. Reefer freight should be nothing less than $4.50 a mile because you have to pay for your reefer fuel. They're not thinking that in consideration. They're not talking that in consideration at $4.50 a mile, right? Flatbed freight. Again, you guys got to do all this extra working, right? You got to chain stuff down. You got to tarp it again. That comes into extra place. So that right there could be $4.50 to $4.75 a mile. But how in the world is $2 a mile going to make sense? It's not mathing. The math is not mathing. And it's crazy that I have to give general math. You know, when you're in school, you got general math, you got consumer math, and if you're smart enough, you get past that, then you have geometry and you have algebra, trigonometry. Oh, damn, all this shit right here is busting brain waves right here. So, but this was just 4th grade math, right? How much fuel does it take is not the only operating cost of your truck. What about your phone bill? What about your insurance? What about your tires? What about your brakes? All these things are wear and tear, right? What about when your truck breaks down? What about your parts right here, right? How does $2 a mile make sense? So again, Jay, if we're doing a load from Atlanta to Birmingham, all right, how does $2 a mile make sense? The math is not mathing. So again, some of y'all people, got to really understand that the math need to be mathing.
You got a trailer here.